Hello, 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 beautiful people. Hope you're doing fantastic well in the clown world. Back today with another New Age review. It's been a little while since I did the last one. Very, very, very highly requested person that we're going to do today. As you can see, it's Ismael Perez. I don't know too much about him. I just know that, like all these prominent New Agers, he's come out of nowhere, come out of the woodwork. He's got a big following, although on this channel there's only 16,000 subs, but I think he's quite prominent in other places as well. And he seems to be one of the figureheads that's in with this like core group of prominent New Agers. And they all seem to be scratching each other's back and doing interviews with each other and all this kind of stuff. So I get many, many emails about this guy. I get kind of Jerry Sargent vibes off of him. You remember our friend Jerry Sargent and the Rainbow Bridge? What a classic that one was. So we're going to get into it. I've not watched this video. It's quite a short one, actually. Just for my own time constraints today, I wanted to get one out and really cover this guy. And a lot of his videos are quite long, so I couldn't bear to sit through an hour and a half listening to New Age trash. So yeah, let's get into it. Before I get into it, we've got on his YouTube channel, we've got the whole all-seeing eye there, and this lady also, I don't know who she is, Catherine Edwards. I don't know anything about her. Also, a lot of sort of occult symbology there. So let's see what pearls of wisdom they have to share. I love the title of this the video. What is a starseed? I mean, for me, this whole idea of a starseed is put out there to make people think that they chose to come here, that they're on a mission. We hear this a lot in the NDEs, the near-death experiences. They tell people you've got a mission. And I think what this does, people that swallow this whole I'm a starseed thing, it's a way that they accept this reality. They accept their lot, basically. They accept all the trauma and everything that they need to go through, because in their mind they have sacrificed themselves to become this starseed. And it ties into like a savior complex and really spiritual ego when you think about it. You know, people walking around saying I'm a starseed, I'm here to change everything, and yeah, I mean, we can all contribute and everything like that, but I don't like these labels. And yeah, for me, the bottom line, as I say, the starseed rhetoric is just to get people to, yeah, accept their lot, basically, in this hell realm that we're in. So let's have a look.
Said there, Ishmael, because it is you as you say, you really are on point at the moment, because so many people, everyone's at different levels of understanding, awareness, feeling and seeing different things. And one of the things that you just touched on there about information and who to trust, because a lot of people who's watching...
Oh, don't tell me we have to trust you. We have to trust you, Ishmael.
Channels like mine and watching your information, they've realised that they can't trust the mainstream. But equally now, they're substituting that for alternative sources, and questions are being asked there as well. And one of the things I heard you say, I think it was on one of your Instagram posts, was that the heart doesn't lie. So should we start with what is a starseed?
Not just the heart, it's the gut and the mind. It's the three. So this is where the New Age gets people. I talk about this all the time. It gets them in their feels. This is why people get addicted to it, because it all feels good. So when they're saying, you know, listen to your heart, that's only part of it. That's only part of the discernment process. So they want you in your heart, these New Agers. They want you in your feels, because if you're in your feels and you're in that wanting to feel good, you're more likely going to listen to their horse shit.
In your opinion, and how does a starseed sort of get their information and determine whether it's from a good source?
Starseeds are the most advanced.
What makes me laugh is what makes this guy the bastion of truth. I mean, is he like the head of the Starseeds or something?
souls in the multiverse that chose to come at this time to help the planet ascend.
Boom. Need I go any further, guys? Need I say anything? We can just stop this video here, right? He's just dropped the absolute line which underpins everything that I've said before. You chose to come here. You chose this mission. You're here to help in the ascension process, which is BS.
So they were volunteered in a way where, we have now millions upon millions of starseeds in their adult years, of course. A lot of the new crystalline indigo children are being born.
Isn't it just cringe? Crystalline indigo. Can you see how this stuff makes people feel special? I say this all the time. A lot of people gravitate to the New Age because they've got a lot of trauma. And the New Age is king at getting people to feel good, as I've already mentioned. Now, if you go there and you've had years of abuse, being told that you're not good enough, whatever your trauma is, and then these guys come along and say, look, it's okay, you're a starseed, you're an indigo, you're special. That feeling of people being made to feel special when probably most of their lives they haven't, is very alluring. This is so evil what they do. And this evilness flies under the radar. And they use all these cringe terms to make people feel good.
Born, one out of every third child now is crystalline. So as we prepare to move into this higher, level of reality. So yeah, that's what a starseed is. It's a volunteered soul that came from the higher dimensions beyond the fifth. Most people think that they're coming from the fifth dimension.
You're so special. You're beyond the fifth
level of reality, but that's the majority of the starseeds. But we also have a great deal of starseeds, or a number of starseeds that are coming from the sixth dimension all the way from the 12th dimension.
You're even more special. You're from the sixth dimension. Those people are just the fifth. You're chief starseed.
Which is amazing. So, there's different...
Where are you from, Ismael? The seventh dimension? Eighth? Giving us all this pearls of wisdom.
To
really irritate me, these people. The way they talk to their audience.
Describe the starseeds. Some people call them indigo children, rainbow children, crystal children. These are all different terminologies that I guess mediums and spiritual teachers have.
Spiritual teachers. You need a spiritual teacher, guys. You can't decide things for your own. You're just a mere human. You don't know anything. You need a spiritual teacher in your life. A spiritual guru. So you can follow.
Labeled these higher evolved beings that are now living among us.
What's that cross in the middle spinning all about? I mean, the religious tones to it as well. Crucifixion, the fiction. People taking religion seriously. And you fold the cross up, it turns into the Saturnian cube, which symbolizes mind control. All this weird stuff going on in the background there. That didn't even start like that. Notice as well, there's always this like background images of planets and stars and things like that. It's very alluring to the subconscious, all the symbology, and this is all planned.
First wave of starseeds came in the 50s and 60s, which means that they're now in their 50s and 60s. And then the second wave came during the 70s and 80s. Those starseeds are now anywhere from 35 to about 48.
I'm a starseed. Yes, thanks, Ismael. I feel really special now. I feel amazing. Wow, I'm a starseed, guys. You might be a starseed too. Wow. I'm an indigo.
And then the last wave has been coming in since 2000, and they've just been coming in like crazy. Oh. So that's what a starseed is. It's a higher evolved soul that decided to regress back into the third dimension in an avatar form while operating still from higher levels of reality. Because see, the starseed...
The guy's a cheese fest as well.
is how can I say...
Look at her hanging off every word that he says. Well, either she's in on the whole psyop thing, the whole New Age psyop. Reptilian vibes. God knows what he is.
They're multidimensional. Everyone's multidimensional, but they, again, these are souls that have already reached higher levels of reality. So in that regard,
special souls.
Only a rather small portion of their consciousness incarnated into this avatar in order to be the boots on the ground and kind of like.
That's it, guys. You're in the army. You're in the army on Earth, the Lightworker Army, Team Starseed.
Work the system from within as the busters of the old paradigm that hasn't been working for thousands of years, in order to anchor in the new high energy vibrations that are bringing the world into a better reality and a better world structure. So, the Starseeds have been doing their job just by merely existing, because
this is the other thing that I can't stand. Doesn't matter how long I do this. Years I've been doing this now. It never fails to cringe me out. This whole idea of anchoring the light. These people are so special that just merely existing and not doing anything, they're anchoring these high frequencies into their being. See how this gets people to stand down? See how this gets people to be inactive? Because if they go along with that narrative that all they need to do is be and then anchor the light, whatever the frig that means, then they don't need to take any action, any real life action about helping to change the dynamics of this planet, because they don't believe that they need to do anything other than keep their vibration high, of course. Don't forget that. You've got to think happy thoughts all day. Otherwise, you won't oscillate. Someone said that to me in the comments section on one of my videos the other day. Well, you can talk about choosing where to go, but if you're not oscillating, if your vibration is too low, you're not going anywhere. Really. Oh man, I'm glad this is only 7.5 minutes long.
They exert a type of frequency that is very transmutative when it comes to lower, denser energies. And so that's who they are. They're multidimensional beings that are still operating from the higher.
This is why so many New Agers are arrogant and have a really bad spiritual ego when you try and address any of this. Because they've had tossbags like him and tossbags like her tell them that they're special, their frequency is higher than the average Joe, they're a starseed, they're a light worker, they're chosen. All this goes into their head and they start believing it. And this is why you get this passive aggressiveness with them. And the comments are like, one day your consciousness will evolve to the point that you will be able to understand this information, Tony. I've had comments like that. And they cannot see how much ego that they have. And yet, guys, the irony is they think they don't have an ego. That's the funniest thing about it all. They think they've transcended their egos, and yet they have the biggest ego ever. You can't make this shit up. The irony in it all is just lost.
Dimensions, with only a small portion of their consciousness incarnating at this time, while forgetting who they were, of course, forgetting their galactic self and their higher self, over self, Christ self. But, in turn, in time, those memories are soon going to be coming back.
Thanks, Ismael. How did you find out about all of this, King Starseed?
Anyone would think we planned this, Ismael, because that leads so perfectly onto my next.
Anyone would think we planned this. Boom, boom. Because they tell you that you did. You didn't get trapped here in the soul recycling mill. You chose this. You chose to suffer your trauma. You chose to experience tyranny, enslavement, because you're here to bust the whole thing.
Next question about, so there's all this talk about when we incarnate, starseeds and non-starseeds into this current reality, that we forget a lot. So in one respect, there's the fact that we're here to learn lessons, evolve, move up to higher levels of consciousness. So why would the greater beings or the process work? That
the greater beings. Be interesting to see what they say about the memory wipe.
We would forget some of that knowledge when we come back in, Because surely then there's the danger of making the same mistakes over and over again. Does that?
You don't say. That's why Earth cannot be a school. That's why that whole rhetoric is BS. Because if it was a school, why would they wipe your memory? How can you learn if your memory's wiped? You can't. You forget.
That makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. And we actually all agreed to forget.
We agreed to forget. Why on earth would we agree to forget? We're coming down here in this spiritual army as starseeds, as light workers, to do a really, really friggin' hard job on planet Clown World. And to make the job even harder, guys, we're going to agree to wipe our memories. Doesn't that just make perfect sense to you? And of course, I'm being ironic and sarcastic. Horseshit.
That was the primary reason why we incarnated, was to forget who we were so that we...
The primary reason, not just any reason, the primary reason is that we wanted to forget. And these people have millions and millions and millions of people around the world hanging off every word. And the reason why this is so friggin' dangerous is because when these people go to the light, because these people will tell them that it's safe, and they are in a position where they've got some kind of entity that's masquerading as whatever it is they like, angels, and they say, well, we're going to need to wipe your memory, they're going to agree to it. This is essential uncovering what we're doing here with this new age stuff and the soul trap. And we have to stop listening to these people.
We could actually learn from the limitations of being mortal and being human.
You're here to learn, of course. Earth's a school.
Because in the higher dimensions, we have an immortal avatar. We don't see death the way the humans on Earth see death. There is no death. There's only transition from one level.
And what are you? If you're not a human on Earth, Ismael, what the hell are you trying to pretend to be here? Some higher dimensional being, some ascended master leading people astray. You can know stuff, guys, right? Knowledge can be known. Truth can be known. This whole idea that no one knows the truth is BS. That's another psyop. That's another agenda. Truth can be known, and certain people can know the truth. Everyone has the ability to know the truth. But it's the way these people talk down to the audience like they're clueless. And to be fair, a lot of people that suck up all this stuff are pretty clueless. And they know this. And this is why they do what they do.
Level of reality to the next. Because as you know, in essence, we are immortal beings that are infinite in nature. And in essence, we're also reflections and fractals of the one consciousness that many call, the great
Oneness.
Prime creator souls of all existence. So as children of the one, we chose to incarnate without our memories so that we could understand the human condition. Because when the time comes, when our upgrades take place.
Why would we choose to wipe our memory to understand the human condition? How many times do we need to understand it before we actually understand it?
Which is going to happen any day now. As more CMAs come in, we're getting ready to transform into, the beautiful angelic humanoids that we were supposed to be with amazing godlike superpowers, so that we could use those powers for good, so that we could understand what it's like to be human, so that when we do transform it and have access to our divine abilities, we could use those
buzzwords, new age buzzwords,
for the greatest, for the greatest benefit of all living things. So it was part of the training. It was part of the training in order to humble us, I guess better yet said.
In order to humble you guys. You needed humbling. So how are you going to be humbled? You're going to have a lifetime full of trauma and suffering on an enslaved planet with your memory wiped. Nice. You've got to love creation, haven't you, huh? Look at him. With his fake smile. He looks like a double glazing salesman. Someone that would knock at your door and try and shaft you for, I don't know, faulty double glazing. That's what they are. I don't know what she is.
Brilliant, Ismael. This is absolutely amazing. Wow.
Wow. Don't hold him to account over anything, will you?
My mind is just going at 90 miles an hour. So before we move on to the artificial intelligence, with this world that we're moving into, with the activation after the solar flash, that is the...
The what? The what? With the activation to the solar flash? Are you feeling activated, guys? I tell you what's activating me. My triggers. That's what's activating right now.
Trigger point for all of this, is it?
Yes, that is when the entire collective of humanity is shifted into the fifth dimensional reality. Well, fourth...
That's the moment we go over the rainbow bridge. That's where we're in the new earth. It's coming any moment now. Any year now. Just keep your vibration high and don't say anything bad about tyranny and you'll get there over that bridge.
And fifth and sixth, most of humans that are not starseeds are going at least to the fourth dimension, where it's still going to be a type of heaven on earth. You know, evil will be removed for at least 1,000 years, and then of course the starseeds are going to be operating in the fifth dimension. And
hopium, that's what they're selling. Hopium. This is a drug for people. This shit is a drug. No wonder people don't like my work, and they like shit like this. How nice does this feel? Compared to what I'm saying. Nice in the moment. Nice in the moment. But in the long term, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose feeling good in the moment, or do you want to get out of here? And this is the decision these new ages. If you're new to the channel and you're into all this stuff, this is a decision you've got to make. You can feel nice in the moment by listening to these double glazing salesmen that tell you this is all an experience and you chose here, or you can actually learn something and get the hell out of here.
So there's going to be different dimensional Earths coexisting all simultaneously.
Amazing. And in this new, when this happens, because we're all energy and all light, will, in this new stage we're moving into, will we need to eat?
Oh man, will we need to eat? All these people are going to go breatharian and starve to death. Of course you need to eat, you idiot. What's Ismael going to tell us? Is he going to tell us to go vegan? Our animal product's so dense. We're eating the fear of the animals and you won't ascend over the rainbow bridge.
It all depends on you. Once you're in the fifth dimension, you could live off of prana, energy, chi, universal life force.
It's going to be a lot of dead people soon that are trying to live in 5D that aren't eating.
Yeah, so people in the fourth dimension who are actually the younger souls, and that's what I call in my book the newbie souls, the ones.
Oh my God, can you imagine trying to get through his book? I'd need the sick bucket next to me for the entire duration.
That are starting their evolution from the bottom up, which first started as the consciousness of a mineral.
Where are you in your evolution? Look at him, so cheesy.
They moved up to the animal, plant kingdom, and then they moved up to the animal kingdom, and then up to the human kingdom. Those souls are still going to be eating food. So people in the fourth dimension, or
what are you going to be eating, Ismael? You're beyond eating prana, surely. Are you going to snort stardust? How does it work for you?
fourth dimensional realities, the people in those existences still have to eat food because their body is not fully yet crystalline. Their body is a 50% crystalline.
They always
Oh, that poor cat. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what that cat has to endure? Being around all this stuff.
at the most inappropriate times. Go on, Coco. Right. So there'll be differences and there'll be choices.
Yes.
Look at her just waiting to hang off every word that he says. Like he could say to her now, all you need to do is eat rat poison over the next few years. And she would go, really, Ismael? Wow, that's mind-blowing. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go and buy some rat poison after this interview.
Yes, absolutely. There's also going to be different levels of upgrades, and that's why this corresponds with what I've been saying, that we're going to be entering the age of superheroes, and then
it just gets better. It really just gets better. This line here, guys, is almost as good as Jerry Sargent's Rainbow Bridge. This line, what he just said there. We are entering the age of superheroes. Not only are you a starseed, not only are you a crystalline, not only do you need to just live off prana, you are also a superhero. And people believe this stuff, man. Oh my God.
These movies have implanting in our brains. That's they're dropping these seeds. Marvel, DC. In fact, the writers of these comics were actually insiders that had access to the truth, and so they just
so fake.
Decided to, in a nonchalant way, to kind of reveal it and expose it, by creating their own stories and their own themes in the form of superheroes. But what they were really doing is they were preparing us for what was to come here on the Earth.
Okay, I think that's the end of the video. It just cuts out there. So it was a laugh. That's what I'll say. It was good fun reviewing that one. Same BS rhetorics, dangerous information packaged as love and light. And yeah, what else can you say about it? Leading people astray as normal. You want to reject this stuff. You really do. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment below, like the video as always, and subscribe if you're new around here. And if you want to check out my work, any of my course, go to my website, transcendingtimes.org. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.